Hello everybody, I'm back from my holiday and I'm straight back with a gas mask video. So, this is one I've wanted to do for quite a long time, a testing and full review and sort of everything you need to know about the Soviet ShMS gas mask. Now, this is technically the SChMS version, and the only reason for that is it's got the East German carry bag. Now, basically, what they did with this mask is, when it was used in the Soviet Union, it was called the SHMS, and East Germany didn't domestically produce their own gas masks. They were sent them or bought them from other Warsaw PACT countries. But when they bought the SHMS, they called it the SChMS. But this is an East German carry satchel, and it's got some German writing inside the bag, so I know it's an East German one. So the mask itself is one of the creepiest masks in my opinion on the market. It's designed for optical use primarily. This is why the eyepiece is face fully forward, and they also have the clever design of being circular small discs. A lot of people have said to me, wouldn't this mask give you bad vision because, you know, it's smaller circular lenses? No, because they sit much closer to your face. It's the same logic the FM12 and CT12 use to improve over the S10. You will also notice that this has a voice diaphragm on the front, so that's another handy feature of it. You can be heard more clearly when using it. So, another interesting thing on this mask is it actually has special earpieces on it, where the rubbers are slightly different material, slightly thinner on the earpieces, which means that obviously you can hear a bit better without having a hole for the ear, like they did on the GP5Ms, the PMG2s, etc. You'll notice the rubber is also actually properly moulded for the face section to keep the face section rigid and facing forwards, and I think this also acts slightly as the Tissot tubes. A lot of people assume these are the same internally as a GP5, but they're actually a bit different. Or you would actually say really the sort of SHM41 type helmet masks. The bottom section is much more like the SHM41 than the GP5, bigger screw thread. This bit's a bit bulkier than the GP5, but it's the same intake and exhale valve assembly. The mask's designed to be used with a hose and then a big EO16 coffee can filter inside the satchel. However, because those filters contain asbestos, when I do this test I'm going to be using my Polish ABEX style filter. Now this is the creepy inside look of the mask, so as you can see, round optical bits so you can see very clearly facing forwards. There are the Tissot tube holes there, so they blow directly out onto the sides of the mask, they don't blow up sort of like a GP5. Voice diaphragm there, simple plastic disc, works well, although it can be a bit fuzzy at times. However, a lot of that is due to air resistance coming through the filter. The bigger the filter on it, the less sort of vibration you get when you talk, because the air is needing more effort to be pulled through, so it comes through slower. So this mask was primarily designed for snipers and other people using optics, like artillery, scopes and everything else, because when the eyepiece is face fully forwards and they're sort of slightly inset into the mask like this, you can get the cushion of binoculars or a scope or anything else right up to the eye. I've done videos before demonstrating this, so you might want to check those out. If you try it out with a GP5 or another mask, because the lenses are facing slightly sideways to give you a better field of view, that won't work. But as I said, these sit much closer to your actual eyes, so you see very naturally through the mask. The other funny thing is when I've compared this to many modern NATO masks, I've actually found you can see better down Ironsights and scopes of this thing than any of the things that have replaced it in Western service. Anyway, so that's enough babbling about the mask. What I'm going to do now is put this filter on the end of the hose. We're going to do the normal air freshener gas test to see if we know these filters work, and we're going to hopefully find the mask is still sealed, pressurized properly and works, and then I'll tell you a bit more about the mask, why we test its effectiveness. Right, okay, we're recording, so I'm going to put the mask on. As I said, this is the creepiest of all the Russian masks in my opinion, Soviet masks. Right, I'm pretty sure it's made a good seal, because what's happened is when I put it on, the filter was touching my leg. Yeah, I just put my ear doing that, so we know that this has got a good seal. I'm just going to let that hang down there for now, and what I'm going to do is, do the test. Now, I don't actually have a watch on, so I'm just going to have to guesstimate 2 minutes. I normally always go over anyway. So, here we go. I'm going to try and not get this on the camera in this video because I'm quite good at doing that. As people keep asking, despite the fact I've done a video on it, if you want these type of filters, search for sort of Polish gas mask filters, Polish 40mm filters.
or Russian 40mm filters, Russian ABAC filters, that sort of thing. And you can find them online, on eBay normally, they turn up now and again. If you want a safe filter for GOST threaded masks like the ShMS. So, as I said, this is one that a lot of people erroneously know as the SChMS, although mine technically is. But there's no actual real difference between the masks. They're all the same sort of thing. It's just when they were given to East Germany, they put the C in there for some reason, like they did with the SCHM rather than the SHM41. But the same mask anyway. So, yeah, I can't smell anything, so we know the mask is working, but we'll give the test a bit longer. As I said, these Polish ABAC filters are very good and not very much. They're expired, but they still work because they've been sealed well. And yeah, you get a bit of vibration from the voice diaphragm, but it's not too bad. As said, if I was to do this without anything on the mask and I breathed and talked, the voice diaphragm makes really weird noises. If you had a big coffee can filter on it, like an EO14 or EO16, then you wouldn't actually have all that vibration at all, because it's a much bigger filter, much more resistance with the air coming into the mask, going to the voice diaphragm. However, as said, this is fine anyway, and I kind of like the creepy vibrating thing it does. So, as saying, the eyepiece is faced directly forward. I have a very good field of view. Where this bit does that does cut your vision off a bit, but it's not enough to annoy me. I think some modern NATO masks are obviously a bit better in terms of field of view, but as said, this is the best gas mask I've ever found for looking down scopes, and this is including things like the PMG one, which has similar circular lenses, and the PBF. This is the best Soviet mask I've found for actually looking through binoculars, looking down a scope, looking down rifle iron sights, because the eyepieces are facing directly ahead, and you've got that kind of bit around them so you can cushion the thing directly to your eyes. So that works really well. So this is by far my favourite of the Soviet gas masks. It's the hood design that they were very good at. As I've said to a lot of people, I'm not a fan of the PMK1 or GP7. I've not got a PMK2 or later, so I can't say how good they are, but it's got the drawbacks of a latex hood, but all the benefits. The helmet style mask. When you've got it on, it's very easy to make an airtight seal, no messing about with straps. It's not too uncomfortable. As I said, I can hear fairly well when I'm talking, that's not a problem. When other people talk, it's fairly easy to hear them. It's a good psychologically scary looking mask, and as I said, the mask works fine. It uses the default Soviet system. So, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. Oh yeah, one minor point. There is also a mask, I think it's the PWRU, but I obviously can't look that up, and I don't have one. People have asked me to test it. It's this mask, but it has a different voice diaphragm on the outside, and it has a specially coated hose, or like a sleeve over a hose, like a chemical hood. That's designed for rocket crews, so if they're handling sort of acidic rocket gases and things, it wouldn't actually cause them trouble. So just to test that the things worked, I'm sure that's been over 2 minutes now, I am going to remove the hose here, and then we'll see if I can smell the gas. Straight away I can smell that, so now die of gas attack. I should have done it at the filter end really, shouldn't I? There's not so much in the air that I'm horribly choking, but it's not pleasant. Right. Rather than me fumbling around and not getting that on, I can smell the gas completely now. These Polish filters work well. As you can hear, the voice diaphragm on the mask is now getting even louder and buzzier, because the air can go into the mask easier because there's less resistance. But there you go. The Soviet ShMS is probably my favourite of the Soviet masks. They still work if you get one in good condition, because the seals are good, and they're very good for actually looking through scopes and optics, because that's what they're designed for. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much.